My biggest financial regret that I've ever had in life was purchasing a home back in 2021 for these 3 reasons.
Not fall into this trap when it comes to buying a house. This is so true. People are rushing to buy homes that they don't like and that they can't afford.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but these are 4 types of homes that you should never waste your money on.
So the more I've looked up clips about the real estate markets, the cost of living, any of the job markets, everybody really struggling right now, the more clips I've seen about home buyers having remorse over their purchases. Now, I don't have to tell you it's been a mess since COVID. Even with all the interest rates, prices are still rising. Of course, it depends on where you live in the country, but there are a lot of people now who are regretting the house that they purchased just a few years ago. And this is for a number of reasons, so we're going to go over a lot of examples today. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, but we're going to start with this woman's experience.
Everybody wants to own a home. I hope everybody gets the chance to own a home. But if you live in a rental or you live in an apartment, whatever, think about, you can call the landlord when shit breaks. Did you know an air conditioner system costs $18,000? $18,000. Our air conditioner went out. We live in Bakersfield. It's 100 and hail in Bakersfield. This air conditioner man came out yesterday. Air conditioner man, $18,000. And we have them home warranties. Cancel that shit. Just save your money. But when you're thinking about or sad about that you don't have a home yet, think about that. Our house was brand new when we moved in. We had it built. We've been in here for 10 years. I understand you got to keep things up, but $18,000, sir? Mind you, the water heater went out last month. That was like $1,000, but still, what the f-? And now my refrigerator has the audacity to feel like it's not getting cold. Stay in your rental.
So if you are renting and you're thinking about owning in the near future, while prices still are rising, you got to factor in more things than just the down payment and the closing costs. There's also things like getting an inspection, property taxes, HOA fees if you have them, anything that might break down in the future. And while home prices are still on the rise, if you purchase a home and you're not ready for those expenses, then you could end up being house poor. We can go ahead and take a look at the first few comments right now. Love that you're not making people feel bad about not owning. I'll gladly rent. 18K is crazy. Check Costco. Owning a home is not for the weak. I'd be ready to walk out and leave it once a month. I also have a few more comments we can take a look at. This is the main reason I'm hesitant to buy. The luxury of being able to call maintenance when something breaks is just comforting. Owning a home is like having a car that's about to be paid off. All of a sudden, stuff want to start breaking. I'm a realtor and I still rent for that reason. I'm not paying $18,000 for no AC, no roof, no garage, nada. Homebuyers remorse has been on the rise since COVID, so let's take a look at someone who bought a house in 2021 when the real estate market was red hot. It was a seller's market. It was kind of the Wild West if you were buying a home that year.
My biggest financial regret that I've ever had in life was purchasing a home back in 2021 for these 3 reasons. Number 1, I had to put a 30% down payment on my home. My down payment was roughly around $330,000. I bought my 2-bedroom, 3-bath townhome for $910,000. And the reason why we had to put so much down at the time was just because of my income. I was only making around, I think, $100,000 to $110,000. That was the only way we could get the math work. Now, my monthly mortgage payment, if you factor in interest, taxes, HOA, etc., it's roughly around $4,200. If I was renting right now, I could probably rent a really nice 2-bedroom condo or an apartment for $3,500. So that would save me $700 a month. However, had I just not bought a home, I could have taken that $300,000 and $10,000, $20,000 that I used as a down payment and just invested in the stock market. We all know the stock market bottomed in 2022, and man, you see where it is today, right? I could easily have an extra, at the very minimum, a couple $100,000 in my stock portfolio. Number 2, in the market that I live in, renting is actually cheaper than buying a home. Again, as I previously stated, I probably am paying an extra, $700 to $1,000 more per month by owning a home rather than renting one. And then number 3, owning a home is just really, really overrated. There's maintenance that you have to worry about. I've already had to replace an AC, and my home is like 3 to 4 years old. So it's actually really, really new. I'm sure at some point I'm going to have to replace a dishwasher, a washer and dryer. Owning a home is not cheap. There are a lot of expenses that come with maintaining a home. And you have to do it yourself. If I lived in an apartment complex, I could call the landlord and then they would send somebody to help me fix the problem. Honestly, if I could do it again, I would just rent a nicer apartment or a condo, whatever, in a nicer community, and then just invested my money instead in the stock market. But again, everybody's different. Everybody has different ways to invest and build wealth. Real estate is not one avenue of building wealth that I really like.
And this is another case of someone who bought a home and then a few years later started running the numbers of what would have happened if they just continued renting, and they realized that having a home wasn't worth it after how much it cost them over the first few years of owning the home. We can take a look at the comments now. Hindsight is 2020. Townhomes and condos are not good investments. Also, you would have never known Nvidia would be where it is today. Hindsight is 2020. 2-bed, 3 baths for $910,000 and a townhome at that. Normal in California. Bro, your home has gone up 200. Your home is now worth 1.3 million at least. Real estate is always a good investment in Irvin. And the creator says it's actually 1.1 million. So there's a lot of things that people don't tell you when buying a home, especially your first home. Buying a home isn't for everybody, especially rushing into it can definitely lead to you being house poor. In fact, this next clip's going to show how rushing into buying home is the number one reason people are getting home buyer's remorse.
Not fall into this trap when it comes to buying a house. This is so true. People are rushing to buy homes that they don't like and that they can't afford. I talk about this all the time. You do not want to buy a house because it's all the hype right now and lock yourself into a situation where you become house poor and your entire existence is just paying for this damn house. And this is coming from a real estate agent. So many of you, I know you're frustrated and I know the market's all crazy, but some of you should be renting. You really should, because if you're going to buy a house and it's going to ruin the quality of your life, or you're not going to be able to pursue your ideas or other opportunities, especially for you young folks, you don't want to buy a house just to have a house and then all you do is work some job that you don't even really like for the next 20 years to have this damn house. Do you know what you could accomplish in 20 years if you had some freedom or some extra money? Or if you were able to pursue an idea or opportunity? You just don't want to get sucked in to a house if you can't afford it. Now, on the flip side, if you like the house, if you can afford it comfortably and you're in a position to do it, now is a great time to buy. But for the group of individuals that are in this hype, it feels like it's Bitcoin circa 2017. That shouldn't be how you feel. Make sure you have your ducks in a row and that you're comfortable with the payment, but you also don't want it to rob you of other opportunities.
So we've already talked about how buying a home isn't for everybody, so let's just go straight into the comment section. We rushed in 2020 to buy a house while we could take advantage of the 2.5% rate we got. I think it was the right move. I have a brand new house in a decent neighborhood and my mortgage payment, taxes, and insurance is far less than a 1-bedroom apartment in my area. I'd rather be broke and own my own house than be broke in an apartment paying for my landlord's BMW. If you got your house at the right time with the right interest rate in the right neighborhood and it's the one you wanted, then yeah, owning is the right move. It really does depend what market you're in. Let's take a listen to what this next person has to say.
I honestly wish somebody would have told me how overrated it is to own a home. My fiance and I just sold our house. We are back to renting. I'm ecstatic. He's ecstatic. We're saving so much. We were really young and stupid when we bought our house, so I'll give you that. But the weight that has been lifted off of our shoulders is, I can't explain it. There is so much maintenance that comes with the house, and our mortgage was ridiculously expensive. I can't even say the number because I'm embarrassed. We are probably not going to buy again for a very long time, or at least until we find our forever home. Just a PSA, if you're not ready for the maintenance and the cost that it comes to own a house, don't do it. Take your time. Please take your time, find a good realtor.
So that person went from owning back to renting. They must have been stressed up to the eyeballs with that mortgage payment. They didn't even want to tell us. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the comment section. But I bought my house 6 years ago and it's worth $200K more. That alone is worth it. No one owns their home even if it's paid for. Wait, what? So you rather pay off someone else's mortgage? I don't get it. Yes, we're saving over $1,000 monthly now that we're paying for rent versus our mortgage. The freedom and financial stability we have is worth it. Our dream home will come with time and patience. And there's a lot of reasons for buying a home, trying it out, and going back to renting. And it's outside of just financial reasons. It can also be the quality of the home itself. This next clip explains just that.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but these are 4 types of homes that you should never waste your money on. Number 1, new construction homes. You see them everywhere. I'm talking about your D.R. Hortons, Lennar Homes, Beazer Homes, Ryan Homes, etc. Guys, these builders are throwing out these cardboard, cookie cutter homes in a weekend with the cheapest materials and the cheapest labor that they can find. You got paper thin drywall that you can literally hear your neighbors' knees, and don't even get me started on plumbing. I swear that I think plumbing issues are the number 1 issues with new construction homes. I'll probably stay away from 99.9% of all new construction homes. I don't even care if they're giving away a 0% interest rate for 100 years. Number 2, the condominium with a $700 a month HOA due or deferred maintenance. Listen, I don't care if they're giving this thing away, but if the HOA is higher than my car payment, I'm out. I've got clients right now paying over $700 a month in HOA dues, and they're still getting tacked on with special assessments. Condos with high HOA fees are gonna eat up your equity and your resale value. Number 3, a house with only one bathroom. Listen, unless you live in the Northeast or parts of the Midwest where houses with 3 and 4 bedrooms and 1 bathroom are really common, do yourself a favor and stay away from any home that has only 1 bathroom. These properties are really tough to resell. Number 4, cheap flips or just rental homes that look good on Zillow. Yeah, the listing looks pretty good in photos, but then you go see it in person and the hardwoods are literally the cheapest vinyl that you can find at Lowe's. These super cheap flips or literally lipstick on a pig homes are pretty common in big cities, and they're really easy to spot. Like, you go on Zillow, you find a house and you find that an investor bought it 5 months ago and they are already back on the market for 3 times what they paid for.
And if you don't know how bad some of these new construction homes are, you're gonna see in the next clip. But before, let's go take a look at the comments again. You know, every home was once a new construction home at one point, right? Old homes are way better than new homes. Old homes were built with better materials, better labor, etc. Thus why they're still around. Please believe everything he is saying. I am in construction. He is right. Never ever new construction. So if you're thinking, what's this new construction? I don't get it. Well, you're about to see in the next clip.
Heading in to do an inspection with one of my least favorite builders. Let's see how this bad boy goes. Every now and then I'll bust out the old trusty laser here, and from when the laser's placed there to when the laser's placed right here in the center, there's about an inch of drop where you see that line is. I think it's standard now to strip as many screws as possible in every stair rail that's installed. Check out this vanity with me here. So there's a shim right there, and then they caulk, and then just leave a gap, and then we add some caulk again. There's another shim, there's some holes. It's over 1/4 of an inch of a gap. Very nice. Well, we've got some mortar here, and gap missing there. Got some mortar here, and then none for the rest of the way down. So this tree planted 2 feet away from the house here and near this overhang is called a Vanderwolf pine. Some more information on that is it can grow to 20 to 25 feet tall, 10 to 15 feet wide. Other fun part is it's right over the sewer line. So what are these roots going to do in a few years? They have nowhere to go but grow in and around the sewer line.
And I don't even think he looked through the whole house and he already found a ton of issues. I can already see the person who's bought that home is gonna have so many headaches after they get the keys and deal with all those issues in the future. I got a few comments on this clip too. Love how you slowly pass the name of the builder. Allegedly, Lennard Homes right now. Not you driving in with their name on display, and you are correct. They cut corners and they are cheaply made for the money they are asking. I got some more comments too. If you can see that much, imagine what you can't see. Blows my mind the price tag on these houses with all the problems with the builds. Wait till you hear about D.R. Horton. I wish more inspectors actually did their job. Now let's take a look at the next clip where skipping the inspection can end up being very costly when you have to pay for the maintenance. Let's just take a look at the comments before I add up all the numbers from that clip. Perfect. I was just crashing out about not being a homeowner by 30. Good looking out, bestie. I personally still think homeownership is worth it, but the cost of maintenance needs to be accounted for in your budget. Did we skip the home inspection? $40,000 for a new HVAC system is definitely a ripoff, and that's coming from an HVAC technician. You should move to Massachusetts. We have a major labor shortage, hence the price. You'll make so much money. Yeah, I gotta say, I really don't mind renting. House poor is a whole new level. level. Thank you for making it to the end. Subscribe to the channel and check out this next clip.